Check out this headline. The time has come for reasonable Americans to stand up and draw a line in the sand. And that comes from cute, fuzzy, cuddly, well-meaning, everybody's gal next door, Kira Davis. Over at redstate.com, Kira Davis has had it up to here, y'all, and she's ready to fight, and she joined us now. Kira, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
I'm good. You are? I've always thought of you as cute and fuzzy and cuddly, by the way.
I know. I'm getting a lot of this response for this column because that's how everyone sees me. I miss, we got to extend grace. We've got to, have these two sides meet in the middle. And I just have come to the same conclusion you have, which is I think the time has come to put diplomacy aside temporarily and start drawing those lines because we're just getting pushed back further and further.
Well, let's face it. It's so funny you say, our instinct has always been to extend grace and hear people out and then respectfully agree to disagree. Extend grace. That's exactly the words used by the host of The Bachelor, right, who just got canceled after 20 years of service to ABC, giving them all those ratings, that he wanted to extend grace to somebody who was caught up in the cancel mob, and he got canceled for just that.
He didn't even say what she said was right.
Right.
All he said was, I don't think that, that I'm the person to judge this. Maybe we just let it play itself out.
Yeah.
Just give her the opportunity to explain. But see, that's what's happening now. So the cancel mobs have taken over. They've taken over. Now they've made everything political. Look, we just wanted to live our lives. Isn't that what Andrew wanted, Andrew Breitbart? Look, we just want to live our lives. You do what you do. Let us do what we do. We're going to call you out on your lies. But, hey, we can have our own media. We can have our own music. We can have our own entertainment if that's what we want. Just leave us alone. But they aren't happy to leave us alone. After November, particularly January, we saw that Joe Biden's idea of unity, and the progressive left's idea of, quote, unity, is to completely eliminate one side of the conversation. And they're going to take away all of our outlets to do it. So at some point, we have to graciously say, excuse me, but no, boys don't belong in girls' athletics. My airline company has no business talking about critical race theory. You cannot deny me the right to protect my vote. You cannot deny me the right to protect my children and their mental health and to avail myself of the services I pay for as a taxpayer. You cannot mandate a vaccine passport or tell me that I need a vaccine in order to participate in my God-given human rights. Enough is enough. If we do not draw the line here, the line will continue to be pushed back until we have no voice at all. So pick a subject and get going.
Kira Davis, we have reached the point in our culture now, and boy, has it happened rapidly, where if you speak up and prevent your prepubescent child from undergoing chemical castration and hormone therapy because they believe that they were born with the wrong body, that you are in fact a neglectful parent, that there's something wrong with you for stepping up and saying, no, we're not going to do this medical intervention. That's where we are, Kira.
Yeah, that's where we are. That your normal, quote, traditional views about what your rights are makes you the enemy. That's what's absolutely insane. All you're doing is saying, hey, I'm a parent and I know what's best for my kid. Hey, I'm a Californian and I know what's best for my area when it comes to illegal immigration or when it comes to taxes or when it comes to how we roll out vaccines. All you're doing is saying, I want to say in this because I am an intelligent and engaged American and I live here too. I couldn't understand, Larry, why after November, why Democrats were still so angry to find out that so many people voted for Trump. It's because they genuinely believed that they got rid of the other side. They genuinely believed that if the right person was in office, that all these other people would just disappear. No, it's not Trump voters. It's not Republicans. We're not those people. We're just the other half of the country. And we've always been here. This country's always been split down the middle. Well, guess what? It's time for those of us who have leaned on diplomacy and calm reason and grace. It's time for us to point out where illogic is beginning to rule the day. Yeah. And it's time for us to stand up for logic and reason. It might look different for you, Larry, than it does for me, but we all have our line in the sand. So you figure out where it is, and then you stand there, and you do not budge.
We're speaking with Kira Davis. She's the editor-at-large over at redstate.com. She also hosts a couple of great podcasts, Just Listen to Yourself, and also Red and Black. Both of those are available at redstate.com, correct, Kira?
Just Listen to Yourself is available wherever you find your podcast, and Red and Black you can find on YouTube.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for correcting that for me. So let's play this out. When you say, and by the way, I love that you framed your article with the beautiful poem from Ecclesiastes, the time for everything, season for every activity under the heaven. In your mind, there's a time to fight. This is the time to fight. This is the time to draw a line in the sand. It's reached that point. Are you saying that conservatives have to now engage in all of these battles or the battles of their choosing in pop culture, in politics, in the classroom, wherever it happens to be, so that our voices can be heard, so that our point of view can at least be welcomed fairly and reasonably? Or are you saying, no, it's time for us to engage in the same way the left is engaging with us? In other words, it's not just about being heard, it's about winning the argument. It's about actually defeating these destructive ideas instead of just saying, hey, let's all get along.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the time for, say, hey, let's meet and discuss. I mean, if you can find that person on the progressive left that wants to do it, great, go for it. But no, what I'm saying is you stand up, you make them play by their own rules. I say this a lot, Larry. I don't believe that the majority of Americans are racist. I really don't. But I'll throw I'm a black woman, for those of your listeners who don't know. I'll throw the race card down if I have to in an argument with a progressive leftist, not because I genuinely believe they're racist, but because if these are the rules you set up, all right, then let's play by them. So when it comes to all of this hypocrisy with COVID, yeah, let's make Governor Newsom play by his own rules then. Right. Let's make these hypocritical politicians play by their own rules. But it is time to start refuting nonsense, Larry. We want to be so respectful of other people's opinions, and I definitely agree with that. But when your opinion is nonsense, when it's literal gobbledygook, look at the transgender stuff that is literally folding in on itself. Someone has to stand up for clarity. Someone has to stand up for reason. No, I'm not going to buy your critical race theory nonsense. It's gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense. And the most basic of criticisms of it completely tears the whole thing apart. So no, I'm not going to stand here and listen to you tell me as if our arguments are equal. They are not equal. Critical race theory is garbage, and it's gobbledygook. And it's time people like me and you and anyone else who feels like it stand up and refute it. No, we're not going to have an intelligent conversation on it. There's none to be had. It's trash.
Kira Davis's fiery column hit last night and immediately spread like wildfire across social media. The headline is "The time has come for reasonable Americans to stand up and draw a line in the sand." And let's talk. You make a very important point here. When we heard President Biden in his campaign and his inaugural speech talk about unity and how he's going to unite us and he's going to be a unifier, I think that people misunderstood exactly what the left means when they say unity. A lot of people that okay, we're going to find what we have in common and we're going to put our differences aside and we're going to at least try to come together over those things that we have in common, our love for our country, etc. No. When they say unity, they mean we won, you lost, shut your mouth, forget what you believe, and follow us because we're now in charge. That's unity in their mind, is it not?
Yeah, and we're seeing this play out every day. You and I, Larry, we're on the front lines. Everything we do is scrutinized. We've had our articles banned. We lose sponsors. Google is trying to completely shut down our avenues of expression. I mean, for goodness sake, you can't even post a video of Donald Trump on Facebook. How draconian is that? Absolutely. Their view of unity isn't tolerant. And that's why I always say on my show, Just Listen to Yourself, which, again, is available wherever you find your podcast. I always say we don't need unity. Conservatives need to stop talking about unity as if it's achievable. It's not, and we don't need it. All we need is tolerance. And if we can demand tolerance from the other side, then I think we could come out to a place where we can at least once again live peacefully together. But the time for peace is over. The left has declared war. So where are you going to stand? Where's your battlefront? Where do you say enough is enough? Is it your school? What's happening in your schools? What's happening with your kids? In the state legislature? On Google? Baseball? Yep. You choose. It's up to you. There's a lot of different fronts to this battle.
Kira Davis with the seamless plugs of her podcast, and I'll just add to that. Make sure tag her byline over at redstate.com because there's always great stuff there. So, Kira, let's play this out. What's the end game here? Do we have a two different baseball leagues? We have two different sets of airlines that we pick from. Do we have two different sets of? I mean, knowing corporations, they tend to not roll back these public proclamations because the blowback for. Here's the funny thing: they try to assuage the left, and if they try to pull it back a little bit, if they try to, it's never enough for the left. United Airlines and Major League Baseball will never do enough to assuage their anger and all of their demands. So it'll keep getting worse and worse unless those corporations figure it out. Will they? Or do we just have to make our own baseball league?
No, they can figure it out. No, we don't need our own baseball league. We've had this one forever, and it's been just fine. All we need for them is to shut up and entertain us, you know? And so what's happening now is that a very vocal minority on social media are ruling the conversation because they're so loud. And the corporations who are now being infiltrated by the progressive millennial set that run social media, they're starting to get the idea that these people represent the majority of people, and they don't. So what we have to do is be just as loud as that strange vocal minority who makes it seem as though everybody cares what United Airlines thinks about Georgia voter laws. The majority of Americans most certainly don't. And so you just need to be the squeaky wheel. We're seeing that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that's how it works. And it's inconvenient for those of us who just want to go to work and go home to our families every day. It is inconvenient, but, you know, freedom is inconvenient, and it costs us something, and now it might be time to pay a little bit of the price. So, no, you start writing United Airlines, write Major League Baseball, remind them that you are their customer, too. And the people who are whining about it probably don't buy the tickets and buy MLB package. They're intellectuals who wouldn't deign to watch the unwashed masses play sports.
That's true. They hate these institutions anyway, but they want to destroy those institutions. Kira Davis says in her column, it's time to draw your line. You have to decide where it is. As she just said, her line may be different from yours. But we've had lots of issues in the last several weeks with which we can use to draw that line, whether it's your Coca-Cola products, your vaccine passports, your social media platforms, your baseball league, now your airlines, your girls' athletics, your transgender issues with your children, whatever it is. I'm interested. What is your line? What has finally pushed you to that point? Let us know. We're going to have this conversation for a while now. 800-222-5222. Tell me what your line is. 800-222 KABC. Kira, I'll let you have the final word here. You finish your column with, the quiet season is over. We are in a noisy season. Grab a bullhorn and start screaming. How do you suggest people scream in their own way? What do you think is the best, most effective way?
Whenever somebody wants to pull you into a conversation about whatever garbage philosophy is the topic of the day, you tell them you're not. No, you don't be afraid to tell them what you just said makes no sense. It's illogical. Maybe what you do is you run for school board. Maybe what you do is you switch airlines. You don't fly United anymore. Maybe you stop buying Coca-Cola, the soda. It's hard to boycott Coke because they own so much. Maybe you do cancel your MLB package. Maybe you scream on Twitter. Maybe if you're quiet, you start, and your friends and family have depended on you never being in the conversation. Maybe you start getting in the conversation. It's up to you. We all know where the line is, but it's time to stop just saying, well, and just live and let live. The other side doesn't want us to live. So until they're willing to concede that we deserve to live, it's time to be uncomfortable, folks. And so maybe that does mean just not flying for a little while, or, I mean, whatever. It's up to you. I intend to fly, but, you know, my lines are in different places, and I have a bullhorn. So that's what I plan to do. But you decide for yourself, and you do it. It's time.
Kira Davis, thanks for writing this, and thanks for everything you do over at Red State, as well as your two podcasts, Just Listen to Yourself, and Red and Black found on YouTube, and Just Listen to Yourself found everywhere. Kira, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Larry Bear.
I knew she'd get that in. Larry O'Connor, Larry Bear to my friends.